Hello guys, Jerry speaking. Welcome to LJPCBM episode number 892. Today we reacting to OddGamer Batman Returns. React this beginning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Thank you.
Cab, makes sense. OddGamer and Batman Returns. Continue on. Title card designed by Charlotte Article. Okay. Makes sense. Continue on.
Hello, Internet viewers. I'm the Fairly Odd Gamer. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope y'all got what you wanted this year because today I got a special review for you guys. Now, a lot of movies take place around Christmas, like Home Alone, The Grinch, and even Die Hard of all things.
Yes.
But there's one franchise that has not only dived into Christmas territory, but it's also a franchise that I've been dying to talk about for some time. If you haven't guessed yet, I'm talking about the well-known superhero that is Batman.
Okay.
Batman was created for DC Comics in 1939 by artist Bob Kane and writer Bill Finger. He became one of the most well-known superheroes of all time next to other heroes like Superman and, well, Superman. He's been in just about everything from comic books, TV shows, and movies, among others. Believe it or not, my introduction to The Dark Knight was a 1966 TV show with Adam West via VHS tape that my uncle had. It was campy, but...
Wow, makes sense. Even though if you've watched this Bob show, it's for you guys. Continue on.
still brings back nostalgia. Both the 90s movies and the Christopher Nolan movies were enjoyable, except for Batman Begins because it didn't leave much of an impact on me.
Which I love that movie. Continue on.
I haven't seen much of the animated series except for that one episode in which...
You killed Captain Clown!
Yeah, that. But it's still pretty good to say the least.
When it comes to video games, however, they're pretty much hit and miss. Some of the good Batman games include the Arkham series and, of course, the Keaton tie-in games. In fact, one of those tie-in games actually does take place around Christmas. That is Batman Returns for the Super NES, based on the 1992 sequel of the already popular Batman from 1989. Though it was said to have been too dark, it was actually an adorable movie regardless. So how does the game fare to its theatrical counterpart? Let's pop this baby in and find out.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, and one more thing. I'll also be inserting clips from the movie, whether visual or audio, to give you a better idea of where the game is at in relation to the movie.
Okay.
With that out of the way, let's get started.
Batman Returns for the Super NES was developed by Konami, which you might know for games like the Metal Gear series, Contra, Castlevania, and even The Grinch on PS1.
And if you watch this remix, Castlevania from ABGN episode, the very first episode. Continue on.
The game starts off similarly to how the movie starts off, or better yet, summarizes how the movie starts off. In the Cobblepot household, a shrill scream comes from a disfigured baby. But after the parents notice the child's appearance and behavior, they throw the carrot, with the baby inside, into the Gotham River and into a storm drain leading to the Arctic World portion of the old Gotham Zoo, where it was then escorted by Emperor Penguins. 33 years later, Christmas comes to Gotham City as hearings about a strange penguin creature becomes the talk of the town. While the mayor addresses this, a huge red gift box approaches the crowd. It then bursts revealing members of the Red Triangle Circus Gang with clowns, including those that juggle, flamethrowers, sword swallowers, knife throwers, and skull bikers as they terrify the fair citizens of Gotham.
Makes sense.
Then we get a short summary about Batman and how he will defeat all evil doings in Gotham City. As well as a new adversary, the Catwoman. Formerly known as Selena Kyle, the twice secretary of Max Schreck, played remarkably by Christopher Walken, who pushes her off a building, leaving her dead. But she then transforms into Catwoman, who is on the prowl for Batman. But will she help him, or join forces with the Penguin and pursue more chaos and destruction? The Bat, the Cat, the Penguin. Will Batman save Gotham City from evil like he did with Jack Nicholson? Will the crime duo reign supreme? These questions will be answered and more as Batman Returns. You have a range of difficulties with easy, normal, hard, special, and mania being the most difficult. In addition, you have a maximum of 7 lives, 9 if you put in the Konami code. Once you're all set, the game will begin. After seeing the bat signal, Bruce Wayne appears replicating the trailer shot of him in front of the signal. One Batmobile cutscene later, and we start off with the first level of the game, Ambush in Gotham City. Batman Returns is an
Awesome.
arcade-style beat-em-up with elements of platforming. As Batman, you defeat circus gang members by punching them or throwing an infinite amount of batarangs, which can also stun enemies depending on what portion of the level you're in.
Okay.
On some portions, your special item can be the back row, which can be used to get by larger gaps.
Makes sense.
You can also perform the cave sweep to defeat surrounding enemies, but it does cost a certain amount of energy.
Okay.
That's right, the cave sweep Batman does costs health, and so does taking a few hits. Losing all your health costs a life, which results in instantly respawning to where you died. Thankfully, you have continues to use if you lose all your lives, but you only have a certain amount of continues available. Finally, Batman can use test tubes. Think of it as a game's screen nuke. Let me point out right now that I love the combat in this game. It feels pretty good to beat up some clowns along the way. Plus, there are numerous combos to perform, which alone makes it more fun. You can punch, grab, throw them at benches or glass, and even have them literally bash heads. Anyway, on to the game itself. It's a nice beginner level as you beat up numerous clowns such as thin clowns, surprisingly played by Doug Jones in the movie, fat clowns that can jump and land on their humongo rear ends, bazooka clowns which are self-explanatory, but it's fun to see them blow up their own kind, bikers that only take one hit to defeat, fire clowns that breathe fire, knife throwers that can throw knives, sword swallowers that can deflect batarangs, and finally tall clowns that can juggle fire sticks that are also used as projectiles.
Makes sense.
In order to defeat them, you have to jump at the right time and throw multiple batarangs at them.
Uh-huh.
Eventually he encounters a stun gun clown who is holding Selena hostage. If you do it right, you can actually replicate this very scene from the movie.
You missed.
Whoa. Wow.
Instead of being knocked out, it turns into a boss fight. In addition to shoving his taser, he acts like Silver Sonic from Sonic 2, in which he can jump and roll, sometimes both.
Yeah.
For each boss fight, only your physical attacks can damage bosses, unless it's one of those special levels where you only have the batarangs to attack with. At the beginning of enough times, he passes out for a bit and the level ends. At the end of each level, you're given an additional 5,000 points just for clearing the stage. Just to be clear, the score doesn't mean anything in this game. So Batman meets Selena Kyle, playing the movie by Michelle Pfeiffer. As I mentioned before, she was a lowly secretary to businessman Max Schreck. Speaking of which, Schreck becomes allies with the creature known as the Penguin, played by Danny DeVito, who both plan to ruin the mayor's reputation, allowing the Penguin to become the new mayor of Gotham City.
Wow.
Burn, baby, burn.
Wow.
I'm glad this game uses the same, well, dialogue from the movie.
Uh-huh.
It really is a nice touch.
Uh-huh.
Next level, battle in the streets of Gotham City. It's here where you introduce these clowns with dynamite attacks, which can easily be defeated by throwing batarangs at them. You can also defeat enemies on an escalator, elevators, and even a burning building. This is also the level where you first use your bat robe for getting by larger gaps. And of course, fire can hurt you in this game. After beating up more clowns, you then encounter the next boss battle, the Strongman. The best way to defeat him, in my opinion, is to defeat clowns in front of the Strongman, so he can have damage inflicted as well, but not by much. His punches can knock Batman back pretty far, and the way to avoid his punches is to walk under his punch and try to use your physical combat abilities to your advantage.
Makes sense.
Batman defeats the Strongman, but then encounters the Penguin who taunts Batman.
You're not the mayor. Things change. You don't really think you'll win, do you? Things change.
Suddenly, Catwoman appears to the scene after destroying Shrek's department store by...
Whoa!
as she escapes to a nearby rooftop.
Meow.
At least it's more intimidating than this.
Meow?
Moving on to the next level.
Go ahead, Doc. What? 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 Let's play that one more time.
At least it's more intimidating than this.
Meow?
Okay. Okay. I don't get that part. Continue on with it.
Moving on to the next level, on the prowl. Batman defeats more enemies while window washing rigs, windowsills, and construction girders. Eventually he makes it to the rooftop where he finds Catwoman.
I am Catwoman. Hear me roar.
Wow.
The boss fight against Catwoman is pretty difficult. Her attacks range from her claws, somersaults, speed boosts, and of course, her whip. Like the other boss battles, your only method of defeating her is to use your physical attacks. Unless you know what you're doing, dodging her attacks can be a nightmare. Eventually does defeat the Catwoman, only to jump off the roof and land in a truck filled with sand.
Saved by kitty litter.
She later meets up with the Penguin in order to form a diabolical plan to trap Batman.
We need to talk.
I'm actually glad this game doesn't show any gross or disgusting scenes from the movie. One of them being this.
Ugh!
Ew. And the other being this.
Yeah, ugh.
I understand she's trying to be more cat-like, but is there any other animal willing to lick themselves?
Which, by the way, I never saw the movie. My own camera recorded on TV. And if you watch this now, Bob, I am so sorry to say this, but it's illegal to say it, but I wanted to watch it via my on the movie service and not only on those reactions. That is a no-no. But the thing is, folks, I want to say this, okay? It is a good thing you mentioned Lucas, aka Gamer. The thing is, it's a good thing I wanted to talk about it now. I never saw bits and pieces in the movie. Saw the trailers. That was it. The thing is that Bob Show reviews and the whole thing. And I just want to say, just the whole thing about it is just, I am not a fan of licking themselves, except for the fact that I was not just personal, private conversations, which is a no-no for myself. For themselves, you know what I mean? For them to say hi for me, that is illegal. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk about it. Just it has to be enough. Continue on. What is OddGamer doing?
Hux? What are you doing?
Oh, hi, Gamer. I haven't had a bath in a while, so I thought it'd be best to bathe myself.
Okay.
There we go. So, what game are you playing?
Well, I'm playing Batman Returns for the Super NES, based on the 1992 movie.
Oh, yeah, I remember that movie. It was a bit too dark for my liking, but it was still enjoyable.
Well, I'm glad you liked it, Hux.
Yeah. Anyway, I just want to see what's up. Later, dude!
Thank you, Hawks.
Next level, the Penguins Train. Batman makes his way to a dark building where he once again fights off more clowns and enemies. It's here where he once again encounters Catwoman, but with the Ice Princess tied up in the background. Unlike the previous boss battle, she doesn't have her multiple backflip attacks, making it a little bit easier. Batman defeats the Catwoman again, only to take the Ice Princess as a hostage.
Gotta go. Girl talk.
Batman follows him to the rooftop where he first encounters the Penguin. His attacks mostly involve his multiple umbrellas, whether they explode or are used as projectiles. The Penguin can also use his umbrella to hover towards you, so please enough times to have him fly over you. Plus, the Penguin can be unpredictable at times because he can come from either side of the stage. All you have to do is to jump and shoot whenever possible, and eventually you beat the Penguin. But suddenly,
Bats with wings do your thing.
the Penguin lets out bats from his umbrella, causing the Ice Princess to follow the building, which then puts the blame on Batman for pushing the princess off the building. But just remember one thing, not everything is as it seems. On to the next level, to the Batmobile.
Wow.
It's pretty much Batman driving the Batmobile while destroying ongoing bikers in a boss battle against the Penguin's campaign van. I'm a bit confused here because in the movie, the circus game planned a device to which the Batman would be hijacked and
Meant to say Batmobile, my mistake. Continue on.
by the Penguin. And here, I can't even tell whether it's supposed to be the Penguin or Batman taking control of the car. And when Batman destroys the campaign van, as Batman exposes the true nature of the Penguin via CD playback on the intercom while addressing the citizens of Gotham City. After shooting his umbrella machine guns to the crowd, he then flees back to the sewers. It's here where we find out that the Penguin initiates his most dastardly plan, to kidnap all the firstborn sons of Gotham City.
Wow.
The Batman to save the children. Moving on to the next level, Circus Train. While on a moving train, Batman has to defeat more enemies and avoid oncoming barriers along the way, including a biker that can throw bombs in the train. Eventually the train stops as he now has to fight the organ grinder with a cute little monkey in the background. The organ grinder has a range of 2 attacks, whether it's a simple swing like a mallet, or placing it on the ground and turning the crank that shoots bullets like a machine gun. Like the bazooka clown, his bullets also kill clowns.
Uh-huh.
Are fired bullets and bazookas the clown's kryptonite? Once Batman defeats the organ grinder, he then makes his way to the Penguins' hideout at Arctic World in the old Gotham Zoo. This leads to the final level of the game, the Penguins Lair. I have to say right now that I love the music in this level. In fact, the music in this game as a whole is actually pretty good. It features elements of Danny Elfman's original score from the movie, and this level is no exception. It's a 16-bit rendition of the final confrontation in which the Penguin announces his biggest plan to his army of penguins. Anyway, in Arctic World, Batman defeats the last boss of the circus gang as the army of penguins launch missiles at you. Not only will they inflict damage on the Batman, but the missiles may also inflict damage onto the circus gang. Now that's what I like to see in the final level.
Thank God.
After making it to the Penguins' lair, Batman encounters the rubber duckmobile.
Wow.
Rubber ducky, you're the one.
Early from Sesame Street.
All you do is
Wow.
throw your batarang to the duckmobile and try to walk under the duck whenever it rises quickly before it drops back down.
Wow.
So the penguins will shoot missiles at Batman. The only way to protect yourself is to hide under the duck once it rises up again. With enough battering hits, the duckmobile is destroyed. But it's not over yet, because we still have the final battle against the penguin. Unlike his previous encounter, the penguin's umbrella now has a flamethrower.
Wow.
But he can still throw umbrella bombs and hover around via umbrella.
Wow.
Thankfully, Batman can grab the penguin while flying, which alone makes it awesome.
Uh-huh.
One final blow later, and the penguin is finally defeated.
Uh-huh.
It seems that peace has been restored to Gotham City until he's needed once again to stop the forces of evil.
Uh-huh.
The Catwoman looks up to the back signal, replicating the final scene of the movie, and the game ends.
Uh-huh.
You get a different ending screen depending on the difficulty you're playing in. In order to get the best ending, you have to beat the game in Mania mode, the hardest difficulty in the game. If you do, then you get to see this image. You are the true Dark Knight.
Why, yes, I am.
So does the Super NES version of Batman Returns still hold up today? Absolutely.
It's probably one of the best, if not the best, movie tie-in game I've ever played so far. It feels like I'm playing through a condensed version of the movie, but in game form. The graphics look amazing because it managed to take every visual element from the movie and replicated them perfectly.
Yep.
Everything from the character sprites, level design, cutscenes, it's all there. Gameplay-wise, it's amazing. I personally think a solid beat-em-up game fits perfectly for a Batman game.
Uh-huh.
I love his combat maneuvers, especially the combo attacks. It feels awesome getting to beat up enemies as if you are the Dark Knight.
Uh-huh.
Plus, the boss battles work pretty well, even if some of these boss battles are based on throwaway characters from the movie.
Uh-huh.
As I mentioned before, the music does a pretty good job at replicating Elfman's score into the game, with original music only used in the game.
Uh-huh.
It would be nice to hear character dialogue from the movie, but I don't mind hearing the music for the cutscenes because it matches the tone and feel of each cutscene perfectly.
Exactly.
Overall, Batman Returns for the Super NES is a fantastic Batman game, and is one of the best movie tie-in games of all time.
Uh-huh.
Whether you're a fan of the franchise, or just a retro game collector, I urge you to add this game to your collection. This is one Batman game you don't want to miss out on.
So I hope you enjoy my little Christmas present, and here's hoping for the best next year. Speaking of which, next year happens to be the 30th anniversary of the Blue Blur himself, Sonic the Hedgehog. And next month, I'll be covering most of the classic Sonic games. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on them. I'm the Fairly Odd Gamer, and I wish you all good luck the rest of your day or night, wherever you are. And finally, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Take care, everyone.
How's it going, dudes? Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon if you want to get notified for upcoming videos.
Also, be sure to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you'd like to have one of my character buddies do a short video for you, well, guess what? Now you can, because I'm opening video commissions to anyone that may be interested, especially during the ongoing pandemic. And here's a little snippet of what it may look like.
Let's give it a try.
Wow.
Isn't it adorable? Speaking of which, here's one of my buddies right now to finish off the video.
Hello, everyone. I'm the Grinch. I'm here to let you know that you can support the Fairly Odd Gamer on Patreon. As a supporter, you can chat with other patrons, fans, and those who took part in the channel, have your name featured in the credits, and even want some bonus content such as a sneak peek and quite possibly possibly an early showing of an upcoming game review.
Um,
Now, it is my honor to give out today's special Patreon shoutout and a Grinchy one at that to Alexander Bode, also known as Wisdom Turd. So once again, thank you all so much for watching the video and supporting the channel. And I hope you all have a wonderful and merry holiday season. Because if one thing's for sure, mine most definitely will not.
So that was very OddGamer. Batman Returns. What do I think about this video? I think it was amazing. So far, this video was a successful video overall. Review, something like that. And that was the LJPCBM episode number 892. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next one. It's going to be LJPCBM episode number 893. Sonic Hedgehog month. I'm not sure it's going to be this yet, but we'll see what happens. Till next time, so Joe's and Bobby some baby. We can watch LJPCBM guys be soon. Till it's out. See ya.
Given unto me this life I'll never take for granted, and given all the time I failed to really understand it, I never sought to meet the maker of reality, the one who gave the life that which is always happening, but I tried all the time. I ask, why me? Why was I the one to see things as I do under the moonlight and the sun? Perception is the question, and the giver holds the key.